Hi everyone, welcome back to DIY with Dewey. So today I'm going to review my 2008 Yamaha R6 motorcycle. This is my favorite motorcycle. I've owned about probably 15 to 20 motorcycles. I used to buy them wrecked and then I would restore motorcycles. So this was one of the bikes that I restored and it turned out pretty good. So it ended up being my favorite motorcycle, so I ended up keeping it. So this motorcycle has been sitting for about a month now. I had it plugged into a battery tender, so it's kind of ready to go anytime I'm ready to ride it. Here's the battery tender I keep the motorcycle plugged into. So they have a little quick connect right here. And basically you just plug this quick connect in. This goes to this battery tender, and the other side goes into an outlet. This wire goes into an outlet. And that's it. It keeps the battery completely charged. So I leave the bike here for sitting for months, like a month or two at a time. And it's always ready to ride whenever I want it to ride. So let's go ahead and pull the motorcycle out. It's been parked here for a month. I just pulled it out of the garage, and let me go do a walk around and then we'll start it up for the first time in 1 month. And let's go ahead and see if it starts, but it should start right up. So this is the 2008. This is the color scheme they had for the 2008 Yamaha R6. Some people refer to it as a R6R. It has the yellow flames, basically. And here's the factory pinstriping on the wheels. I'm gonna do a little walk around. It has a couple aftermarket parts. It has a rear fender eliminator with turn signal, LED turn signals. I covered up my license plate. It has, I believe it has integrated turn signals in the taillight as well. We'll start it up, I can't remember. It has Radiant Cycles Shorty GP exhaust. The rest of it is pretty factory. It has Radiant Cycles Shorty levers. It says Radiant Cycles. On this side it says Loud and Alive. But when I restored it, it was a wrecked motorcycle that I purchased. I restored everything on it to make it basically showroom, and I finished this a few years ago, so it's getting a little beat up again from me riding it and just kind of letting it sit around. But here, let's go ahead and start it up. The key is in there. So the battery should be pretty charged because it was on a battery tender. And normally, if it's been sitting for a while, I like to spin this a couple times. All right, let's 3 times. Let's turn ignition switch on. Let's see if it starts. So it started right up. We'll let the engine warm up. It hasn't been driven in a while. Oh yeah, it has LED turn signals as well. But I love the way this motorcycle looks. I've had Yamahas, I've had Hondas, I've had Suzuki, I've had Kawasaki, and I've had both the 600, I had a 750 and 1000 cc. But I feel like the 600s are the best for me personally. I'm kind of thinner and lighter, so the R6 is handled really well. 600cc motorcycles handled pretty well for me. There's enough power. Headlights are on. So the high beam is on. When you have just the low beam on, there's only one headlight. So everywhere, people always tell me that I have one headlight out, but this is how these R6s were manufactured. With a low beam, it's just one headlight. So a lot of times I ride with high beam during the day. I ride with high beams. I don't really ride at night. So both headlights are on, and then people don't tell me if my headlights are out when I'm riding during the daytime with the headlights. Tinted windscreen. This was aftermarket as well, just a detector. And I believe that's it. Let me show you the turn signals. So those of you that don't really ride a motorcycle or don't know how to ride a motorcycle, this is the kill switch. So right now it's on the on position. This is the starting switch. This is the gas. So just to rev it. This is a brake lever. On this side, this is a clutch lever. This doesn't twist at all. This is just a handle. These are high beam, low beam. Here's the turn signals. So to turn left, turn signal, you move it that way. You see how it's blinking left turn signal? To turn it off, you press this button in. To do right turn signal, push it right that way. You see how it's blinking right turn signal? To turn it off, press that. This is the horn button. This is the tach. So this is the RPMs on the screen right there. Mileage would be right here, how many miles per hour you're going. And that's just a clock. How many miles you've driven. I believe that's the, the temperature is on top, 154 degrees Fahrenheit. And then 30.3 is the mileage that you've driven since trip A. I don't really look at that too much. The main thing is the RPMs. I keep the RPM so it doesn't redline. I keep it kind of in the lower range. And I look at the miles, how fast I'm going, miles per hour. These are the right mirror, left mirror. This is the front brake reservoir, brake fluid. So you always kind of want to keep an eye on this to make sure you have brake fluid in there. You don't want it in the below the lower mark, because brakes are pretty important on a motorcycle. What else? This is the key to turn it on. Here, this is how you shift. So this is just a footrest for your left foot. Over here, press down is first gear, and then you pull it up halfway, it's neutral, and then you pull it up, the second gear, you keep pulling it up, it goes all the way to 6 gears, I believe. So then when you're slowing down, you have to manually push it all the way down, back to neutral or first gear at a red light. This is the rear passenger foot peg. So if somebody's sitting on the back seat, you pull this down, and you pull this down. This is the right foot peg. This is the rear brakes. So when you press this, it activates this brake for the rear tire. So I'm pushing the brake down. You see it, the brake lights are lighting up. I'll show you my turn signals right now too. Okay, so I do have integrated turn signal inside, and I have LED turn signal over here. This is my license plate. I just covered it up because I don't want to show my license plate to everyone. Let's go ahead and turn this off. Let's turn left turn signal. So that blinks. Left turn signal, and an integrated light inside blinks. So even when you press the brake, you see how you can still see the left turn signal integrated? That's pretty much it. So, give some gas. Alright, so to turn off the motorcycle, you can just turn this key off completely, or you can press this kill switch. I use this. Some people say don't do this because it might mess up the switches over time. There, so it's off. And then you can turn this to the off position so it doesn't kill your battery. And then this way you can take off your key. And one more thing. Oh, so when you're parking your motorcycle, you don't want people being able to pick it up and roll it around, right? They might steal your motorcycle. So what you do is you put it down, you turn the steering wheel all the way to the left, and you can lock the steering wheel. So you press this down and you turn it to the left like that. Do you see the lock position? Now you pull your key out. So now whoever tries to steal your motorcycle would just push it in circles if they, because it just keeps going to the left now. It's locked. And then I normally put it in gear as well when I'm parking it. So if you put it in first gear, they can't roll it away unless they have to put it in neutral. Right now the back wheels won't roll when it's in gear. It's kind of like a car. When you put a car in gear, it doesn't roll. So let's go ahead and put it back into neutral. And let's unlock this. So when you're trying to start a motorcycle, here, let me show you this. So this is the neutral light. This is kind of important. If it's in gear, so let's go ahead and put it in first gear. Do you see how you don't see the neutral light? This motorcycle won't start. See? It has to be in neutral in order for you to start the motorcycle. So we would pull this up. So even in second gear, so right now, do you see the lights on? I'm gonna pull it up for second gear. It has to roll forward a little. Okay. So I just rolled it forward a little bit. It's in second gear right now. And because it's in gear, the light's not on either, so now it still won't start. You have to be in neutral. So because I pulled it up into second gear, let's go ahead and push it back down to neutral. There we go. There, so now it's neutral. Now you can turn it on. So this is the kill switch off position, this is on position. Push this and it'll turn on. Alright, well that's pretty much it on my my 2008 Yamaha R6. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off. All right, everyone, that's my 2008 Yamaha R6. The weather is pretty nice, so I'm gonna go ahead and take it for a little spin. And if you have any questions about the R6 or R1, even like Honda CBRs, Suzuki Gixxers, Ninjas, Kawasaki Ninjas, I used to rebuild all of them. So I know a lot of, I know how to repair them usually. All right, well, that's pretty much it. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks.